You know, little boys love to terrorize little girls with things that they find disgusting, like bugs and snakes and mice, and well, I'll stop there. Well, this week, you may be feeling squeamish as you're reading in the Torah portion this week about bodily discharges, leprosy, scabs, really some disgusting things. But the point is to teach us how to separate from those things that make us unclean. First, we have to define what is unclean. Then we learn how to remedy it. So welcome to this week's Shabbat Shalom devotional, when I seek to share a little inspiration, bring a little peace to the close of your very busy week. So this week's Torah portion reading is called Tatria Metzora, and it means bearing seed. Those are the first words of the portion. We're reading Leviticus 12 through chapter 15 this week. So yes, we're talking about blood, scabs, leprosy, and bodily discharges. Yuck! But I want to focus on the requirements about a leper who has been cleaned or healed, and how he has to go before the priest to prove that he is healed and that he's now clean. This process takes 21 days. And you remember the verses in Luke 17 where Jesus healed the lepers, and he comes upon these 10 lepers, and they stand far away from him because they had to as lepers, but they cried out to him for mercy. And it says this in verse 14. This is Luke 17:14. So when he saw them, he said to them, "Go show yourselves to the priest." And so it was that as they went, they were cleansed. So while their step of faith resulted in their healing, Jesus knew that they would be healed, and that the priest had to verify the healing. Why? Because of these very verses in Leviticus that we're reading this week. This was the procedure for a healed leper to be made clean and accepted back into society. And so Jesus was telling them, be obedient to the law, go before the priest, and let them verify your healing. The why behind all of these regulations about uncleanness, we read it in verse 31. It says, and this is now Leviticus 15, verse 31. Thus you shall separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, lest they die in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. So a lot of these laws and regulations were to teach them what was clean and what was unclean, and then also a remedy for the uncleanness. And I want to be clear here that some of these laws, it's not about sin at all. It's certainly not sinful for a woman to give birth and then have to go through a process of ritual purity to be clean again. It certainly isn't sinful to have leprosy and to then, once they're healed, to go through this process. So a lot of this uncleanness, it's not about sin, it's about uncleanness. And the Lord wants to teach his people, like little children, how to be clean, how to take their baths, how to wash their hands like our moms, and therefore to be able to enter his presence. So I just want to make another comment. There are two types of laws that we are reading in the Torah. There is one that is called mishpatim, and these are the laws that the human intellect can understand. We understand the reason behind those laws, but there are some laws that are considered chokim. Those are the laws that human intellect actually does not understand. Those are the laws that just require sheer obedience, because we don't understand why they were given. We don't understand what they're good for. We don't understand their meaning. And that's when we express our faith by obeying God. And I want to close this week with a New Testament scripture, Romans 11:33, where the Apostle Paul says, "Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways past finding out." So if you're reading something in these laws that you don't understand, that's okay. The Apostle Paul didn't either, and he proclaimed the wisdom of God, that his ways are just above our ways. One day we'll understand when we enter eternity. But while here on earth with limited understanding, we just have to obey in faith. And with that, I wish you Shabbat Shalom.